We've got a super unusual marketing story because the company started very analog, if we can call it that. I was on trains, planes, and automobiles. I pulled my back out coming down from Aberystwyth back to London on a 6-hour train ride. And I just kind of thought, I can't do this for the rest of my life. It's exhausting. We have to go digital. And my first hire was a marketing person. So really unusual, didn't go down the technology route. I'm not a technologist. I hired a marketing person who today is my CMO. So she's been with me throughout the entire journey. And the reasoning is, I think, really obvious, but it doesn't seem to be obvious to most people. You can have the best product in the world, and if nobody knows about it, you're going to fail.
Hello, I'm Marcus Freed and welcome to the Freedthinker. This is where we talk to business owners and thought leaders, look at cutting-edge marketing techniques, what's working in today's business climate, how to market on a shoestring, and essential skills to get heard above the noise of the competition. I run Freedthinking, which is a growth marketing agency based in London and Los Angeles, and I'm delighted to welcome today's guest. Vivi Friedgut is the founder and CEO of Blackbullion, the financial well-being company reaching over 1.2 million young people worldwide. The award-winning startup, utilising gamification and open banking, supports young people to make the best financial decisions for their future. Students are also able to access additional funding through the recently acquired Scholarship Hub, the largest platform of its kind in the UK. Vivi is former UHNWI wealth manager and a regular presenter about financial empowerment and developing a personal financial playbook. Vivi is a regular public speaker and panelist and a published author who was recently named FinTech magazine's top 100 women. Thank you, Vivi, and welcome.
It is so great to be here. It's so weird when you hear your bio.
I don't like hearing my bio. Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot, but it's impressive. It is impressive, and so let's talk about it. So before we get into the marketing aspects of Blackbullion and how that's been built and what's happening, can you tell me a little bit about it from your perspective? Like, sort of, what is it? Who's using it? How's it happening at the moment?
I founded Blackbullion after working with super rich people, which is great fun, and you get some nice presents. But really, it was really clear post the financial crisis in 2008, and then with everything that's happened since, that actually most people don't have the most fundamental financial skills, and so that was a problem that I wanted to at least try and tackle. So Blackbullion, as you said in the bio, we work with universities, colleges, and increasingly companies to help their young people to develop the necessary financial skills. So that's what we do. That's the mission that we are on.
Terrific. And how did it start from a marketing perspective? I mean, what were you doing at the beginning, and then what's differing now?
We've got a super unusual marketing story because the company started very analog, if we can call it that. I was on trains, planes, and automobiles giving financial education lectures on university campuses. We're talking an hour about how to budget. Like, this is super rock and roll stuff. And I pulled my back out coming down from Aberystwyth back to London on a 6-hour train ride. And I just kind of thought, I can't do this for the rest of my life. It's exhausting. We have to go digital. And my first hire was a marketing person. So really unusual, didn't go down the technology route. I'm not a technologist. I hired a marketing person who today is my CMO. So she's been with me throughout the entire journey. And the reasoning is, I think, really obvious, but it doesn't seem to be obvious to most people. You can have the best product in the world, and if nobody knows about it, you're going to fail. And you can have a really average product, which when we launched, the product was even worse than average. But with great marketing, people know about it, and then you get your evangelists and they love it and they get excited, and you can iterate on the product. So marketing was fundamentally core to our success in the early days, and that's only gotten more so as the company has grown. And it's a very unusual path for a non-technology founder to hire marketing before product.
I mean, within a tech founder setup, at what point would you usually bring the marketing in?
Yeah. So first of all, most tech founders are technologists themselves. So they will build the product themselves. But most, and I say this with love, most product people don't understand how crucial marketing is. Most product people believe that a great product is all you need and people will just discover it. My belief is, as I've said, a substandard product will go a lot further with good marketing than a brilliant product will go with substandard marketing. So normally companies won't hire marketing until they're well into their kind of second, third, fourth iteration of their product, which I think is an error.
That's very interesting. And then right now, what's working? What are you seeing within the market? Because we can certainly see, I don't know where AI exactly where it's going to land. Right now, the auto GPT, the interaction of different bots, like things are just going nuts, particularly in the last 6 months. So what are you seeing right now on the ground in terms of what's working with this financial product, this financial area?
Nuts is exactly the right word. I think AI's gone crazy. So Blackbullion is unusual in the sense that we are marketing to two and selling and engaging with two very different sort of groups. Our first is our clients who pay us the money, which is universities, companies, colleges, very old school institutional style marketing. It's white papers, it's PR, it's, LinkedIn, sending things, running conferences, articles, very what I would consider very old school traditional marketing. Hasn't really changed. Maybe AI is writing some of the content, although ChatGPT, let's be honest, not a great writer yet. Although it'll probably get there, but at the
Really
moment
not.
it's still pretty average. Really not. Like, you can so tell when it's been ChatGPT written.
Exactly.
The other side of our audience is the users themselves, who are much more sophisticated in their expectations of marketing and outreach. That is still very much social media, TikTok, Instagram, shorts on YouTube, Twitter less so, but still a little bit. And the way we are engaging with that audience is very, very different. It's much more hyper personalized. It's much more short. It is, which is sad for me, because I think long content, especially with finance, is really important, because complex things that are boiled down to a 140 character tweet leaves a lot of risk in there. But education as marketing is something that I think, are very good at, which is not doing explicit marketing, but rather providing real value and real education and real guidance and information, which in and of itself then presents you as an expert, which then helps young people to trust you in this age of finfluencers, which I hate as an expression, but it is out there. So two very different groups that we are reaching in.
I haven't heard that. Finfluencers. So for the financial influencer, the finfluencers.
Yes.
Why
The
not?
challenge is
if
a
the
lot of
term
them
sticks.
a lot of them are selling like sunscreen one day and cryptocurrency the next. So there's a real challenge of credibility in that space, but it'll be interesting to see where it goes. The FCA is starting to crack down, so we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, absolutely. On this question of the content-based marketing, the educational-based marketing, how much are you allowing it to be purely organic, based on you're sharing it, the keywords goes out to your email lists, goes to your existing audience, and then how much are you doing paid promo on that content in terms of sponsored running the ads on that?
So I don't think I would get in too much trouble when I tell you that we use very little paid channels. We use paid more on LinkedIn in trying to reach targeted groups like vice chancellors and deans and the like. With students, it is a lot more organic. Our blogs are incredibly well received, incredibly well read. Our open rates for newsletters are insane, to the point that we've checked numbers multiple times because they don't make sense. You're talking like 50, 60, 70% open rates, which is diabolical.
Wow,
I
that's
know. We had
wild.
to run the numbers several times to check. I mean, wild, right? Like wild, like not normal,
Yeah,
crazy kind of
that's
numbers. But again, I think it helps when you establish the credibility in this space. Most people just don't have it because of the kind of face cream versus crypto conversations that are happening. We have done arguably a very good job in becoming the trusted voice of student finance for young people and the people that support them. And so a lot of this is very organic. I've said it's a long kind of running joke in our team. and forgive my slight digression, but one of the challenges I think that technology companies have with young people, thank you, is that giving stuff away for free, it's very difficult to judge value because, and the running joke I have is that if you give out a bag of poop at Old Street and it's got some sparkles on it, some people will take that just because it's free stuff that they're being given, and some people will take it and then they'll throw it away. If you charge 5p for that bag of sparkly poop, no one is well, we hope no one is taking it. And that's how you know whether or not it has actual value. And free stuff, it's very difficult to judge value. So because our clients continue to pay for the information and guidance and education that we're putting out, students know that it's valuable and young people know that it's valuable because somebody has paid for it, and they know that they are not the product because somebody has paid for it. And I think that adds the credibility. Young people have become very good at knowing that if something is free, they are the product. We have made it really clear that it's not free. It's just they're not the ones that are paying for it. Their university or college or company is paying for it. And so the marketing is very different because we can really lean into that credibility piece.
That's very good. And actually, I don't know amongst contemporaries how much people think about, well, the product is free, therefore I'm the product. Because, and I'll just backstep slightly for people watching or hearing who may not be familiar with it. The idea that, let's say you download Instagram, you're flipping through Instagram, it's completely free, but actually Instagram's making money off the advertisers because you're seeing their ads and you're being hooked in, and so technically you're the product. Your eyes, your time is being sold. Is that fair 100%. Description? Okay. So within Blackbullion, when a student is logging on, what is it they're getting? Like what will they come out with that they haven't had before? What is the sell to the university or the benefit to the consumer?
Yeah, absolutely. So when a student logs into the Blackbullion platform, first of all, their university or college or workplace has paid for that, and that's how they have full access into the platform. There, at last count, was 85 pieces of in-depth expert content. So from cryptocurrency to sustainable investments to what are NFTs, although those have disappeared now from the zeitgeist. But what are NFTs? What is budgeting? How do I pay down my debt? How do I build my credit score? So it's very kind of hard-hitting expert education, which is engaging, which is gamified, all of those things that you would expect from a learning platform. That's one part of it. The second part of it, as you said in the very lovely intro, is that we last year bought a scholarship company. Scholarships are not really done in the UK. For any companies that are listening, this is a great user acquisition tool for you. In the US, there's $180 billion worth of scholarships. In the UK, it is 2 million. So we are trying to build a much bigger source of funding for young people, whether it's corporate scholarships or company scholarships. Yeah,
is that all?
2 million.
I got my master's. My master's was paid for by the British Academy of Arts and Humanities. I should send them another thank you letter.
You should. You should. You got one of very few scholarships that are out there. So that's fantastic. First of all, it's interesting because that wouldn't have been it.
Oh, thank you. No, it's interesting. I got shortlisted. I had interviews for a Commonwealth scholarship to go to Toronto University, and also I got down to the last 12 for 4 places for a JFK scholarship to Harvard, but didn't make it past the post. But it was an interesting interview. But yeah, there was more money in the States. Good point.
Way more money in the States. So we bought this company, and I'm building a team in order to take that forward. And there's already some unbelievable named companies that are getting involved. So that's the other thing that students get. In 13 days, as at the time that you and I are speaking, we are launching our app. Now, the app is free because it is being cross-subsidized by the universities and companies that we work with. What students and young people will get from the app is the ability to, so that the way the app has been built is to help you not run out of money. It's a very simple objective. So how to not run out of money. And as you are approaching the point where it looks like you're going to run out of money before you get your next salary or student loan, where can you access more funds? How can you use the gig economy? How can you join the kind of online economy that is growing by selling things on eBay or creating things for Etsy, and how to apply for scholarships and bursaries. And that app is the actioning. So you can learn, you can access more money, and then you can action your financial spending through the app. So that's what students get in our kind of Blackbullion universe, in our ecosystem.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Thank you. So to look back into the marketing question, and I'm thinking about someone who's listening or someone who's watching it who's got their own business and thinking, okay, well what can I learn from Vivi with Blackbullion success? How can I take it across? Do you have recommendations for other startups, for people who are thinking it's pretty overwhelming at the moment, the amount of choices they have? You've got content-based, educational-based promos through social media, through websites, blogs, and so on. There's the paid ads. There's now many choices through Meta, LinkedIn, Google, and so forth. Podcasts, all these kinds of things. Like there's a limited number of hours in the day, limited budget, and what's going to create the result? What do you say to the founder?
I mean, it's such a great question, right? It's such a great question. My top thing would be where your audience is. It was the most disappointing thing in the world for my CMO to realize that our clients were on LinkedIn and in newsletters, because it's such a boring part of marketing. But there's no point trying to move the herd to a different lake if they're telling you where they are and they're telling you what you want. So the first thing to do is put your ego aside. And she was very good at this. Like, it was a conversation we had and she just did what she had to do, but I could see it annoyed her. But like, be smart and give your audience what they want. So I've often joked that if our clients said to us, we want all the newsletters in fluorescent green with like pink spots, that's what we would do. Because at the end of the day, we want to serve them in the best possible way. And the best way to do that is for them to engage with us. And the best way to do that is to give them what they want. So kind of park your ego and be where they are and give them what they want. The other is narrow the scope. As you just said, there are so many places you can put your very limited dollars. No matter how big you are, there's limited dollars compared to the number of avenues that you can use. We try to test and then see if it works. And if it works, double down. And if it doesn't work, move on to the next thing. But we are not on every single channel. We're not using every single thing because we can't. We just, even if we had all the budget in the world, we'd never have all the budget and the resource in the world. So that's really important. And also grow with it, because what worked 3 years ago, especially on the consumer side, doesn't work today, because things are moving really. I mean, 6 years ago, there was no TikTok. And now TikTok is everything. And in 6 years, TikTok will be nothing and it'll be the next thing. So constantly adapting, testing, be really close to your audience and give them what they want. And listen to your marketing people. The number of founders I know who think marketing is just another voice. Marketing is a crucial voice to have at the top table. And listen, if you're not listening to them, don't pay them, because it's not worth your money. I very much value my CMO's advice. And if I didn't, we wouldn't have her in the room, because what's the point? It's a high salary. If you're not getting value, then that's on you.
Absolutely. I mean, how many people do you have on your marketing team?
I think we're 6. We're a 27-person team total, so a quarter of the team is marketing.
So it's fairly significant. I think, look, it can be a lot more challenging for the startup, for the service provider who is either doing all the marketing themselves or just has one person, or who's piecing it together with freelancers, who's trying to figure it out whilst delivering to the clients, whilst growing and networking and balancing it. And this is what we're hearing a lot. Like, so they may try and listen. It's just trying to double down, and then some people, you see this a lot with service providers, where they just sort of tap out. They're like, you know what, this is all I can handle right now. I'm not going to do any more, rather than being able to step back and grow.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, there's always too much to do. Then there are hours in the day or dollars to do it. I mean, our marketing team has doubled in size in the last 6 months. So up until 6 months ago, there was like 3 of them.
That's amazing.
There's always yeah, there's always too much. Well, I mean, my CMO is incredible. If anybody tries to poach her, I will like hunt you down. Like, just don't even. But it's very difficult, and you kind of have to focus. And I know it's hard because people say you need to have one number one priority. I mean, I'm sure you, like me, there's like 7 number one priorities. Like, it's impossible to narrow the
Yeah,
scope.
yeah.
But you really, yeah, you really do kind of have to, because you can't chase maximum users and maximum money and maximum referrals and maximum engagement. You just can't. Like, you have to, which is the lever that's going to have the biggest impact, and focus on that. And it's probably not the one you think. It's probably the least sexy thing that you can do, which is going to have the most impact. And that's why I say you've got to put your ego to the side, because if you just want to do sexy stuff, you're not going to grow, because the sexy stuff tends to not be the stuff that has a huge impact.
Yeah, I think that's very good soundbite, and very important for people to remember. As a last question for now, if you were able to go back 6 years to the beginning, or 7 years, and give yourself one piece of advice, knowing now what you didn't know then, what might you advise yourself with regards to growing the business or doing it better?
Don't get addicted to coffee. It's a really good question. Look, I'm really proud of the journey that we've been on, because we've navigated a brand new path. It's a blue ocean company. I think that that's great and amazing, and I'm super proud of it. A blue ocean path is very, very difficult.
What's a blue ocean, as in just wide open, any possibility?
Yeah. So for anyone who wants to be kind of a category creator, quote unquote, forgive the air quotes, blue ocean is exactly what you do. So red ocean is where everyone's eating at each other and the sharks and there's blood in the water, and blue ocean is where nobody else is yet. So on the one hand, it's fantastic because you're the only one there. On the other hand, it's really difficult because you're the only one there. So there's no one to copy. There's no one to kind of iterate from. Blue ocean is both fantastic and terrifying. We have been blue ocean every step of the way, which has made it quite difficult. The lesson I would have is to be a little bit closer to the red ocean, so that there are more people that you can watch and go, oh, we kind of sort of can do that if we just adjusted a little bit. Whereas we invented everything right from the beginning. But some of the stuff that we've invented right from the beginning, so we've got a playbook, which is a campaign playbook. Our universities do our marketing to students on our behalf. We provide them the equipment for doing that. I've just seen the 2023 one because it just got presented to clients literally this morning at 10 a.m. And I pulled up the 2017 version to compare. It is night and day, Marcus. They could not be more different, because the original tool was designed by me and it was terrible. And this is designed by experts and it's brilliant. We would have cut that time down by half if we'd had somebody to copy. But then it's a very different journey. But if I could change something, I might change that. I'm not sure. But that's what comes to mind.
Okay, great. Well, look, Vivi, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And it's amazing seeing the way that Blackbullion's growing and the important function that it's playing, helping students, helping people grow, not just changing their immediate finances, but the financial freedom and the financial path for their future. So thank you. I'm wishing you ongoing success.
Thank you so much for having me. It was really fun to chat, and I wish you all the best with all the very important work that you're doing. So thanks for having me.
Thank you, Vivi. Thank you. Thank you for watching or listening in. Please make sure you follow our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And if you'd like email updates about future episodes, please sign up at freedthinking.com. I'm Marcus Freed. Keep thinking freely, stay creative, and see you soon. Goodbye.